I am Deputy Inspector T and Tong, but you can just call me Inspector T, that's fine. It makes it a little bit easier, and I completely understand. So thank you for putting this all together, and you know, I can see the involvement that community has, because you look around, and not only does your presence tell us how important this meeting is, but I can hear it in your voices. I can hear the passion, and I can hear the frustration, and we get it. You know, that's why we're here, and we want to make sure that you're heard, that you can come here, and that we'll sit here and we'll hear this, because it's important that if we don't hear you, we can't make these changes and we can't make the adjustments. Before I go any further, though, I just want to introduce and also thank some of my guys over here. A lot of what you asked me about today is considered quality of life. It's not just crime, but it's a quality of life. So we see a lot of times where we read the news and we see somebody who's brutally assaulted or robbed or shot. And thankfully, I think that most people don't encounter that on a regular basis. What we do encounter on a regular basis is everything that you brought up today. Illegal vendors, double parkers, noise, all these issues everybody encounters every day. So we have a plan and a team to try to address this. And a big part of that is our community affairs. I have Officer Perez, who's here from our community affairs team. I have my crime prevention officer. I have Officer Bonifacio, who's over here. And these guys are direct liaisons. You guys have often asked me, you know, if I have an issue with the community, if I have an issue with the crime or crime prevention, who do I talk to? Who can I get to come down to look at my business and do a survey and say, hey, you know, these cameras are no good. These locks are no good. This area needs more light. That's what community, that's what crime prevention can do for you. You know, and use these resources. These are tremendous resources. My last two officers over here, Officer Blanco and Officer Fortuna, I'm sorry. These guys are part of the Q team, right? So a lot of the issues that you guys have brought up are directly handled by these guys. All right, so just to give you a snapshot, and you know what? I wasn't sure how this meeting was going to go. If I'd known better, I'd bring more notes and more stats. But off the top of my head, in the 28-day period, right? So 28 days, 1 month, 4 weeks, we handled 1,981 311 jobs. That's almost 2,000. Almost 2,000 of your complaints we handled. My Q team guys handled 1,600 and change, over 80% of those jobs. Right, so that means that not my sectors, not the contractor, these guys right here, two of the ones that you see over here, part of my Q team guys. So if you could just give them a quick round of applause, because they really work hard for you guys. And that being said, they're also supposed to be working tonight, so I'm going to dismiss them, if you don't mind, so they can address some of these issues in our community. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So just to give you a little bit more of a background on the way the Q teams work, right? This is the new program that our Commissioner Tisch, has really spearheaded. And there's been some changes to what we used to have. We used to have the NCO program. That's our neighborhood coordination officers, our youth coordination officers, and they had a really good program where they interacted directly with the community. That hasn't changed. We still want that. We still engage in that kind of outreach, and we engage in that kind of cooperation with the community. But what has changed is our focus on these type of crimes, because you guys look at the news. We all watch the news every single day. We watch about some girl who gets assaulted and the puppy gets kicked, or some fire, or arson, some really horrible events. And to us, it seems like, you know, the numbers are down. You know, robbery is down. In a 28-day period, in 4-3, we're actually down across the board. We're down in violent crimes. The way the NYPD tracks its statistics are by the 7 majors. The 7 majors are robbery, rape, murder, rape, robbery, felony assault, burglary, grand larceny, and grand larceny auto. This is what every major city sends in to the FBI, and they track all the statistics. So how we track them is by the year before. Did we do better or did we do worse? And that gives us an idea of whether we're spiking a crime. So for the week to date, 28 day, we are doing much better. We're down across the board. So that's an indicator that our crime is trending in the right direction. However, those 7 numbers do not paint the full picture, because as you know, yes, we're seeing an increase in shootings. We have an increase in, decrease in shootings, a decrease in robberies. But what we don't see is when I walk out there, I see the quality of life has not improved for me. I see the cars that are on milk crates. I see the vendors that are blocking the streets and I can't walk by. I walk down the streets and I see people zipping by on Lime scooters and driving recklessly. So these are all real quality of life concerns. So I'm going to go through the list that you guys gave me, and I think I see a lot of common themes on this list, right? A lot of common themes with immigrants back then. And they weren't rich. They didn't come here. There was no roads paved with gold and their pockets weren't lined with money. It didn't work that way. They worked very, very hard for very little. And then I realized something growing up. You know what? My parents didn't come here so they could be wealthy and they could have opportunities and they could be rich. They came here so that I could have opportunities growing up. And that's true for all of our communities. And that's my job to make sure that you have that opportunity, so that you have the safety and the opportunity so that you can go to school and have businesses and flourish. And that's the goal of having a partnership with the community and the police. I think we can all agree on that. You know? So a lot of the issues that you brought up today, like the senator mentioned, is not unique to this community. The double parking, believe it or not, is everywhere. It's rampant. So a lot of times we look at a problem and we think that that's the real problem, but maybe that's not the problem. Maybe that's a symptom. What's the true problem? Maybe the true problem is that there's more people that live here than lived here before. There's more apartments that are growing up that lived here before. More people have cars that are here before. The infrastructure cannot keep up with that. So people just get frustrated. They don't know where to park and they just double park. You know, and that's when I say the people, that's us. We're that people, yes. Right? So there has to be a little bit more with the infrastructure. And I think what a lot of people here said, which is very important, and Senator Natalia said that very importantly also, and you guys did the right thing by bringing us more than just the police here, because a lot of these problems isn't a police problem, but it's a community problem, and it needs many agencies to come together and fix this. And that's great. That's why we're here, and that we work with our partners, and we can work together, and we can fix this together. So the double parking, obviously, because if you call 301, that like we said, we're a data-driven department. We see those jobs now and say, hey, we're getting an uptick in calls here. What's going on here? I can send my Q teams over there. We get to the root of the problem. Maybe there's an issue like this. It's a parking garage. They can't park all their cars out there, and they take advantage of the street. Now we tell them, hey, listen, we're on to you. You can't use the street as your personal parking garage, and we can fix that, but we have to know the problem. So the sidewalks, the illegal vending, a lot of this stuff, these are multi-agency issues that we can work together on. We have to get sanitation on board. With the vending, we've already worked with them in the past. We're going to do more with them. And when I say them, I'm talking about the consumer affairs, the Department of Consumer Affairs, because they need proper licensing to open these to vend in the streets. So, but my cops aren't always trained, because sometimes they'll see permits, and some of these permits allow them to work in a restaurant, but not on the street. Or they're allowed to work on the street, but only specific designated areas. But those laws are so complex and so varied, the average cop's not going to know. So we need these agencies to come and help us and say, this is illegal, this is okay, this is illegal, and we are working with them. One of the other complaints you did not bring up, but I will talk about it because it's one of the things that our Q teams had worked on also, is illegal car washes, right? We see them popping up all over the place, and we get frustrated, like they washed out the cars, the dirty water goes down the street. So we tackled them, and we were able to confiscate a bunch of equipment. We issued 18 summonses last past weekend. So we're out there. But I do want you to understand one other thing also, though, is that I can tell you tons of these stories, but you don't know about them because we don't have these meetings and conversations. So you might only see the one side. I see all these problems and nothing's being done. And we see the other side. Oh, we did this, this, and this. Why don't they see what we did? And this allows us to bridge that, and then we can say, hey, you know what, you're right, double parking is a problem. Just to let you know, my guys are on top of it, and we issued 4,000 summonses last month. So these are things that, I don't know if that number is exact, I'm just saying, but I will have exact numbers for you next time. If that's what you want, let me know, and I'll share those with you. I'll let you know, hey, you know what, out of my 1,903 jobs, the number one complaint was noise. Right, so number one. Number two was double parking. illegal and double parking. And then way down number 3 are abandoned vehicles. We have a lot of abandoned vehicles too. Not as many as the other precincts. But I think that it's important for us to know that that is an issue for us, but we're lucky that we're not handling it alone, and we have our partners that can help us with that. And you know, the Senator Natalia's office has been fantastic with helping us out, and I look forward to working with you as well. But we do have crime trends, and you mentioned a few of our crime trends, and that's why it's important to come to our community council meetings as well. We have the community council meeting once a month, and also check out our social media. I know you're on social media because you're very good with it there. So, but check out our social media page because we have tips on there, right? So let me go over some of the ones that you talked about, right? So you mentioned earlier today the tires and rims, right? So the tires and rims is a huge problem, not just in the Bronx, all over the city. Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Westchester County, New Jersey. And we talk to these outside agencies because we need to know what the crime trends are. What are the most popular cars, right? And we kind of mentioned before, Hondas and Accords, right? Accords specifically, CRVs. Acuras are very high up, and they're also just recently, Toyota Highlanders are now being hot as well. So these are very popular cars where they steal the car, so GLAs, where they actually steal the car, and where they also steal the parts. The parts could be airbags, tires and rims, mirrors. These are all in the same category because these are very popular. So why are Hondas so much more popular than other vehicles? Well, one of the main reasons is because the Honda's been around for so long, and a lot of the cars are very similar. The components are the same. So you could steal an airbag from a CRV and put it into an Accord. You could steal a radio from a Civic and put it into a Pilot. So there's a high market for these. So you know, we try to attack that issue many ways. Number one is on the street, how do we stop them from stealing? That a lot of that could be also awareness. One of the things that we ask is for the tires and rims, get the locking nut, the locking lug nuts. They actually lock. You have to have a specific wrench so that it makes it harder for the person. It doesn't make it impossible. It just slows them down. So, but that's okay because when they can't get the easy one, they'll move on to another one, right? If they find it difficult to remove your tires, they'll go to another one. So tires and rims, airbags, right? It's crazy to say this because I grew up in the 90s and I remember every single car had it, but the club, right? We had the club. It prevents them from stealing the car, or at least it deters them from stealing the car. But believe it or not, the old-fashioned club actually blocks the steering column itself, the steering wheel, and that's where the airbags are housed. And when they see that, they see the bright yellow stick or the bright red stick, they'll move on to another car. So we have programs, and sometimes we even have giveaways, and we want the community to be aware of that so they can come and they can partake in that, and we'll help them with that. One of the things that we haven't seen as much here in the Bronx, but it has been in the past, is catalytic converters, right? They like to go underneath the cars and cut out the catalytic converters because there's precious metals in there that they can sell and get money for. So we have a VIN etching program, so it won't stop them from stealing them, but hopefully if we catch them with it, now we can tie them back to the car that it came from. So a lot of these programs are all offered by our crime prevention officer, and Officer Boniface is one of the best. He's super active. He also works very closely with our explorers and auxiliary officers. Our auxiliary program also is open to anybody. It's free, but you can come and you can join the NYPD auxiliary and patrol our streets and work with youth in your own community, and we have a really robust program. I also invite you to apply for the Citizens Academy. Our Citizens Academy gives you a bird's eye view of what we see and what we do every day, so that you can see what tools we have, what skills we have, what training we have, and what we deal with, and you actually go on a ride-along before you graduate. It's a great program, so consider that as well. But the only other one that I really wanted to discuss, and I saved this for last, is hate crime. I don't want to gloss over that because it's such a serious issue. We live in such a diverse community, and I think that that adds to our strength and to our richness. You know, never did I think that a TAHER commanding officer would be the commanding officer of a Bronx command, right? That was unheard of maybe 20 years ago. But the Bronx right now, we're more diverse than we've ever been. We have a Pakistani commanding officer in the 4-7, right? We have a few Hispanic commanding officers. We have a female commanding officer in the 4-9, and myself here. So our diversity is our strength. It gives us the opportunity to see different points of view and have input from different perspectives, and that gives us this diversity and this strength. But it saddens me and it worries me when I hear that people are worried about hate crime. The best way to combat it is to bring it to light. Don't let it hide in the shadows. Let us know about it. Tell us so that we can investigate it. I work very, very closely with the hate crimes unit in the Detective Bureau. Before I 9 and now the 4-3, I was commanding officer for central robbery in the Detective Bureau. So they will listen to us, but we have to let those, if there is an issue that we suspect there to be a hate crime, we're going to take it seriously. Don't ever feel that, hey, they kind of poo-pooed it or they kind of brushed it under the rug. If they do, call me, and I'll make sure that we give it the light that it does. Okay? I want to make that point, especially known because that goes step in step with us being safe and secure in our communities. So if we don't feel safe and secure here, where can we be secure? Right? This is our home, this is our community, and I want to get that message across. I'm sorry, there was one last thing that was brought up, and I don't want to ignore the ladies over here also. Our response times. So we are in a big crunch. We don't have as many officers as we used to have, and we're asked to do a lot more than we have in the past. And it's maybe not just our agency. A lot of other agencies are seeing a retention problem as well. Other commands, other agencies have poached from the NYPD. There used to be a period where if you wanted to work in a Westchester precinct, Westchester agency, you would have to apply for their academy and go through the academy again. But other agencies are having trouble recruiting police officers, so they got rid of that requirement. So NYPD officers who've been here for 2 years can automatically transfer to other agencies. So we're losing cops that way as well, faster than we can hire them. So we have less people out there. So to try to combat that, we're trying to use a little bit more technology. We have alerts and cameras and ShotSpotter, and these things help us direct and use our resources to the best location, and we're doing a really good job with that as well. But the way response occurs is based on priority. If your car was broken into, it's considered a property crime. That might take a little bit longer than a person who's being assaulted and there's a weapon on scene. So if those jobs are happening simultaneously, we're going to go to the assaults before we go to the property crime. So that's how the responses work. If there's a chance where somebody gets hurt and we're not getting out there in time, then that's when you have to let me know, because obviously safety is our first concern. So property crimes will always take a back seat to anything that involves an injury or somebody potentially getting hurt or safety. I hope I answered most of the questions we gave today. One
more thing, the fireworks late night at the corner, right? Was it right? Corner of Indian Food and Starling. Fireworks late night.
Is that a recurring issue, like every night at the same time? Or?
Every week, right?
For last like 3 weeks or so.
So can you send me that in an email so I can have my QT follow up?
Yeah.
Because those are hard to address by 311, because what happens, you call 311, they're dealing with parking summonses or moving cars. Maybe an hour and a half later they go and it's gone and they say, well, I don't hear anything out here, right? But if I know it's a recurring issue, then I can have the Q team set up over there and say, hey, you know, a lot of nights at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we're getting this issue, then now they can kind of go over there and kind of see what's going on. So those chronic, persistent issues, that's what the Q team is good for, okay? So
one more, young gang carrying gun and walking in the street.
well, I mean, that's there's no real strategy for that. If we catch it, we see, we catch them, you know. And if it makes you feel any better, this weekend we had a robbery condition, and we ended up meeting up with a bunch of different agencies. We came down. The case is still open. I'm not gonna tell you where, but we hit that area hard. We picked up 3 people, grabbed the gun, and a bunch of narcotics, and that was this weekend. And I was personally on the scene for that, so you know I'm out there with my guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
all right. So I just want to say thank you again for having us here today. You guys are incredible hosts. And now that I'm done speaking, I'm gonna try one of those. Thank you, thank you.
Before we let you go, we're gonna welcome you with the flower and a little gift. Just give me 2 minutes. Khalil will welcome you with the flower and gift. Just give us 2 minutes. Thank you all media also. We sorry that we didn't mention you guys are here. usonline.com, TAHER Bhai, and Tushar Peak and Bhai. Faizu Bhai. Thank you.
NTV representative.
Oh, NTV. Wow.
We have a new member of NTV here.
Good evening. Actually, আমাদের যা কোশ্চেন ছিল এবং আমরা যা জানতে চেয়েছিলাম আমরা অলরেডি জেনে গেছি।
Want to welcome him to our community with warm wishes, with a nice flower. Let's welcome Mr. Tao Tong.
Ready, 1, 2, and 17.
Now, Bilal Bhai, Masud Bhai, rest of people can come up.